Museum is coming under increasing pressure to return hundreds of artefacts to countries including Greece and Nigeria. Talking about it in more detail should be Geoffrey Robertson QC, who once described the trustees of the British Museum as the world's largest receivers of stolen property, and Jacob Reynolds from the Academy of Ideas and the organiser of Debating Matters. Hello to you both. Thank you for joining us on the programme this morning. Let's go to you first, Geoffrey Robertson QC, if we may. What should he be returning as soon as he takes office, in your opinion?
Good morning, Kay. I think he should be returning those items of cultural heritage that have been stolen in colonial wars, often with a killing of men, women, and children, but denying the inspiration to future generations of the great artists who lived and worked in their country. Now, I would begin with the Parthenon Marbles, which were ripped off the temple walls of the Parthenon by Lord Elgin's workmen after he had paid enormous bribes to the Turkish officials who should have been stopping him. They belong to Greece, and there's a beautiful museum beneath the Parthenon itself where they can be seen, this greatest wonder of the ancient world that is still, to a large extent, extant. It can be seen under the blue attic sky where it belongs, and not in the gloomy Bloomsbury Gallery to which half of it has been consigned. So that would be a great start, and it would be, I think, applauded around the world. Then you have, of course, the Benin Bronzes, those extraordinary pieces of art which were looted by the British Army in 1897. They killed the men, women, and children. They then took them back and they were sold around the world. President Macron has ordered the French galleries that exhibit them to send them back to Nigeria. And it's rather embarrassing to be led in morality by the French. So there are items like that. But he should keep the Rosetta Stone, which Egypt wants, because the marvel of the Rosetta Stone, that's deciphering the key to an ancient language, was done in the British Museum when it was there. So it should keep that.
Lots to go out there, Jacob. We should return certainly to Nigeria. We should return the Benin Bronzes to Nigeria, and we should return the Elgin Marbles to Greece.
Yeah, I think nobody denies that these artifacts have the checkered histories, but the demands to return them are, I think, quite damaging to an important idea and an important ideal, which inspires visitors of these museums in their millions every year, which is that these aren't the parochial achievements of particular cultures or particular people in particular places, but these tell a part of the story of the achievements of humankind as such, and that's how these artifacts can currently be appreciated. And the demands to return them, secondly, these demands, I think, often have a lot more to do with offering opportunities for Western political and cultural elites to engage in acts of moral grandstanding, rather than being particularly interested in the artifacts or the places to which they go. So I much prefer to see them in these kind of like world museums, rather than trying to pigeonhole them as either political footballs or as just parochial elements that only belong to one particular people.
Geoffrey Robertson QC?
Well, Jacob's great idea is called colonialism. It's called finders, keepers, stealers, keepers. It is the 19th century idea of the kind of cult museum which shows the superiority of the West with a smorgasbord of this and that. The greater idea is the idea of justice. Justice to people who looted and plundered in the 19th century. That idea is that the great works of art can be appreciated not as a bit or a piece of some Western triumphalist museum, but as with others of its kind, together with the great achievement that you could see if the Parthenon marbles, not the Elgin marbles, the Parthenon marbles were reunited.
OK, let's Jacob come in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously very easy and very tempting to engage in sort of sweeping statements like referring to people who appreciate these elements of world culture as being tainted by colonialism. And that says, I think, a lot more about the people who want to return these artifacts. And it's a great opportunity for, with all respect to the QC, a great opportunity for people to engage in this kind of moral grandstanding rather than drawing attention to either the real problems that exist in countries where these artifacts might be returned to, or in this case, appreciating these as the cultural treasures that they are.
You're grandstanding, Geoffrey Robertson.
Greater appreciation in Athens, beneath the blue Attic sky, seeing the Parthenon marbles reunited, because it is the greatest wonder of the ancient world. Everyone, millions, would come to Athens to see them, whereas in the British Museum, they're just a bit and a piece on the way to the Egyptian mummies and the other attractions of the museum.
Let Jacob come in there.
Yeah, I think that there's an element of kind of dismissal of the people who go, as I say, in their millions through these museums.
No, I'm one of them. There are 80,000 members.
Checking them when they see them in a particular context. Whereas I think the great thing about these museums is that they offer an opportunity to tell a really rich and exciting human story about the achievements of human culture as a whole.
Sadly, we're out of time, gentlemen.